Hello my dear professionals, welcome back to the channel. Today we will discuss everything about dual employment. Is it legal? Can company terminate you? How the company will find that you are working for a second company? Can you get terminated for it, or can you get into legal trouble because of your dual employment? And is dual employment same as working with multiple companies on contract or on freelancing? We'll be talking around all of that stuff so that you can have absolute clarity when it comes to dual employment. On that note, let's get started. Let's start by defining dual employment. Dual employment is working with two companies at the same time as a full-time employee. I'm repeating it. Working with two companies at the same time as a full-time employee. If you are working as a full-time employee with one company, but you are working on contract or maybe part-time job, that's not counted as a dual employment necessarily. That's not a dual employment. Now comes the question if dual employment is legal or illegal in India, and what can be the worst consequences of it if you are caught doing dual employment. Now, answer to that is Indian government has not defined it as a punishable offense where the person who is caught doing the dual employment can be punished. It's not so, though Indian government do not encourages it, but there is no punishable act around it. So that's one thing. Another thing is that can you still get into legal trouble? The answer to this question is yes, you still can get into legal trouble and company can challenge you in the court in case you have signed a contract with the company. By contract mean if you have signed any document with the company that where the company has clearly said that they are hiring you as a full-time employee, expecting you not to work with any other company, especially their competitors. And in case they have mentioned a clause there that if they find any employee doing so, it will be then the matter will be then taken to the court and will be settled in the court. In that case, company can for sure drag you into the legal cases. So understand it clearly. By doing dual employment, you are not necessarily breaking any law created by Indian Constitution, but if you have signed the document to not work anywhere else with your current company, that piece of document is binding you from doing another job, and if you do, then it's illegal basis that paper that you have signed. I hope that's making sense and you are able to understand what I'm trying to say. Now, next question comes that how do companies really get to know that if you're working in any other company? See, there is only one short way to tell, which is your UN account, because all your PF account gets linked to your UAN. Whenever you join any company, they create a new PF account for you. For any employee, all the employees, every company creates a new PF account, but every account gets linked to your UN, that is a unique number, and when that number is checked, all the employment history that you have had in past will be reflected if somebody tries to check. But also remember, a lot of people have this confusion. They think that the companies can also check what's inside those accounts, as in how much money is kept there or how much the company was paying to the employees. All that information the companies cannot check, or the background verification agencies cannot check. It's just that the PF account which are linked and are from which company can be seen in the employment history. That's about it. There's no other information that is revealed. Everything else is only meant to be accessed by the person himself or herself. Now, whenever you are working in two jobs as a full-time employee, please remember, because you will not have the PF account unless you are a full-time employee. If you are working as a part-time employee, as a freelancer, that will not be created for you. So that's why it's not counted as a dual employment, because you are not counted as a full-time employee of any company. So if you're working two jobs as a full-time employee, then your PF account will get created and it will get linked. And if there are two PF accounts at the same time linked in the UN, that gives the strike to the person, whoever is checking, that there is already a PF account, active PF account associated with this UN at this current time. So that is a confirmation of your dual employment. Now, what's next? What a company does when they figure out that you are doing dual employment? Obviously, they will terminate the person. Now, here some people ask this question that I'm working in day shift in one company but working in night shift in another company, so there's no overlap. So that should be allowed. See, that is allowed if you're not working as a full-time employee of that company. If you are working as a full-time employee in one company, then you can do your part-time job in the night hours whenever you want to do it as a part-time employee or maybe freelancer or as a contractor, but not as a full-time employee, because no two companies can give you all those PF benefits, retirement benefits at the same time. It's not allowed. And it's not only about the company where you are working. It's not only about that. If you have two PF accounts at the same time linked in the UN, you'll not be able to withdraw your PF amount. The whole EPFO system, Employee Provident Fund system, is designed in such a way that it's always stays in progression. As in, you are in one company, you leave that, there is one exit date, then you join another company, there's one joining date. So it's always in progression. Even if there is a case where your exit date is wrong in the PF account, where you have already joined a company, say for example on 1st of Jan you joined a company, but your exit date is 2nd Jan or maybe 1st Jan itself in your last organization, in that case also you'll not be able to transfer your PF to the next company. The system will show the discrepancy. So always make sure that you are taking it seriously. Whenever you leave a company, tell them to put the dates accurately, and it's always a good idea to have a gap of 2-3 days so that there is no overlap, because then even if you have accumulated like funds of lakhs of rupees, you will not be able to transfer it until the company itself changes that date of exit for you in your PF account. You'll get stuck. So do not do that mistake. That dual employment will get you terminated for sure, but you'll also not be able to get benefit of the PF amount which you thought you might get while doing two full-time jobs at the same time. And if you are in a situation where you got terminated because of dual employment reason, where you were doing the dual employment, or maybe you were innocent, it somehow you got into this dual employment blame and the company terminated you, you are worried that what will happen in background verification when you join any other company as well. Now, since 2-3 years, because of work from home, a lot of cases of dual employment have come up and so many companies are not okay with it. So earlier it wasn't a mandate check in background verification. Not many companies used to do it, but now most of the companies do it, which are in like MNC category. They for sure do it. So if you are in a situation where you think that your background verification will come negative because of the dual employment, and you are not in a situation to explain this to HR, as in you were really guilty and you did dual employment, in that case I would advise you to go for smaller companies, because they give more preference to your skill set, what you can bring to their company in the future, or how your skill set looks like at the present. They do not put much emphasis on what you have done in the past or what has happened. And many of them who are way below than mid-size don't even do these checks. So in case you are finding it difficult to get through the background verifications of MNCs or well-renowned companies, and you're feeling stuck in your career and you have these thoughts like you'll not be ever able to work again in any decent company, then I highly advise you to go for smaller companies, unless you have figured out a way to monetize your skills on your own. I know the situation sounds really difficult. I know this kind of situation is really difficult and can interrupt big time in your career progression, but guys, do not stop because of it. Learn from your mistakes if you have done, and do not do it ever again. I mean, dual employment is not a good thing, and it will for sure have consequences that you would not like to go through. So do not do it. Do not even think about it. Now let's talk about freelancing and working on contract. Freelancing and working on contract is fine as long as you are not doing your freelancing and contract work in your office hours, in your full-time jobs hours, because if you do that, that is like a short kind of cheating. I mean, you are there as a full-time employee, company doesn't allow you to work on something else, but once you are off the hours of your full-time job, I think you are all free to work on your side hustle maybe, or do your contract work, whatever you want to do to earn little more money. But one thing here, you have to make sure that you are not going against any thing which you have agreed with your company, you have signed on the papers. For example, even if you are taking the contract work, it shouldn't be with the competitor of the company. It shouldn't be, because if you are indulging with the competitor of the company in any way, that's not legal. That's not legal. And every company has this clause in their offer letter, in their agreement letters, in some form or other. As a HR, I can confirm you that this clause is everywhere, and every company specifies a number of years gap where you can't work for next 3 years with a competitor or something of that sort. So make sure that you're compliant with that, otherwise you'll invite unnecessary legal issues for yourself, and then there will be no way out. You will lose more money than what you have earned in that side hustle. So do not do that. So guys, that was it. I hope I covered all the queries related to this topic. If you feel I have missed any question related to this or any query, please ask that in the comment section. I'll try to give the answer to the best of my abilities. And with that, we came to the end of this video. I'm signing off. You keep on watching more content on the Corporate Diaries to be corporate ready, and I'll see you in my next video. Till then, stay safe and healthy. Take care. Bye.